All right. Now that you've seen all the other videos and you've seen all the screenshots, sorry, this one's going to be a long one. I think it's like 2 hours. Maybe I cut it down and stuff and try to edit some of the BS out that is just filler in his fucking videos. But this is all him. And this is the harassment. And it's been going on and on and on. And funny, all these videos have been removed. Why? I mean, why post them? Why talk about them and then hide them or remove them and then deny anything's going on? Because all these videos were put out before I put out anything about him. If you look at my channel, it's not about freaking drama. The only drama I have is him. Unless you want to call my tire popping, but that's no big deal. But here you go. And all its flamboyant BS and lies and stuff and the crap he's talked about people and me and the harassment he's been doing, but that's just the way it goes. If you sit through the whole thing, there you go. Sorry it's so long, but here it is.
Filipinas trapped with an out of control foreign man who finds himself in the country he doesn't understand and is trying to figure out which way is up. Just wait 4 years. Give it 4 years, which I think is terrible advice, by the way. If you're stuck with a dude that's bad news, maybe you're with someone that betrays other people who's kind of a Judas, and you don't want those people in your life, guys. You want to be with winners, and we try and be winners. We try and elevate the people around us. We try not to be punishers of other people. We try and edify and make sure, like a star player on the team, everyone else around us is winning. So a bummer if you're already a member. But awesome, man. So yeah, like some weird drama going on in the YouTube community. Like it ended up being like the greatest week for me, man. Some dude who lives in my area who's a troll, just a publicly admitted troll. He's admitted he's a troll. He's admitted to creating like a bunch of screen names. And I'm going to change the circumstances a little bit. But so this guy, we go into this local store, and I never get to make fun of these guys, right? They always say stuff about me on the internet, and there's like little like pockets of where they talk trash about me, but I never get to see him. Like the only time that I've seen a guy was that one dude outside the VA that like ran away from me, and the one that has me as a pig on his channel ID, and so that guy. That guy runs away from me, right? So okay, that's hilarious. So that's how these guys are, man. That's how they are. And so there's this guy who's here, and we're in the shop, and so finally I get to make fun of the guy in person. And so I'm making fun of him. I'm telling him, like, and I'm kind of half serious. I'm like, dude, you don't look very good, man. Like, hey, troll, like, take care of yourself, buddy. I mean, I was there like a couple years ago. Things were going well. I was looking at COVID, and I was just like, my body was getting away from myself, and I've traditionally like been an athlete. I've been in the military. I chose like to do infantry, which is like, you don't sit around and just like check logbooks. You freaking do something. You like go and you run tactics. So I've always been kind of an active dude, and then so I kind of have a heart for this guy a little bit, because he's this troll is just like, he's just self-destructing, man, right in front of very eyes. He's turning into just a big pile of sludge. And so go to mommy. No, go to mommy. So anyway, Dale obviously wants on live stream. He wants to be in on this. So this guy, I'm in the shop with him, I'm making fun of him, and I'm like, dude, you don't look very good. I mean, I wasn't really that mean to him, but when you're that insecure, like, it's a tough thing to deal with. And the guy couldn't take it, and he literally lunges at me. This troll local troll literally lunges at me in the shop, like physically came at me. And I've been in contact sports my whole life. I've trained a little jujitsu, not too much, but I know how to handle myself. And and I just freaking pushed him because he came at me like one of those football sleds that you push, like when you come up and you hit it in a drill. I just reacted that way because he physically lunged at me. Oh my gosh, dude, this is the freaking funniest thing in the world, dude. This dude who's as big as me or bigger than me, when he flew like back in the shop, landed like on the back of his head or something. And the shopkeeper is there with me, and he's stunned, and I'm stunned. And the troll is like on his back. He's like slithering to get up, and he's like looking at me. And then he threatens me again. I was like, fine, just go ahead and hit me. Like, we know what's going to happen, man. Like we know what's going to happen here. Like, do I need to do this again? Like, I don't want to. Like, I restrained myself from going into full mount position, getting the dominant position, and going from there. I had only the physical reaction of hitting him, knocking him flat on his back. And that's where it ended. I could have been the aggressor in this. I wasn't the aggressor in this. And so so this guy admits to lunging at me. He admits to coming at me in front of the shopkeeper. And I'm like, oh, this couldn't be more perfect, man. This is so awesome, dude. Not only did I get to knock over my troll because he came at me and I was defending myself, but then the guy freaking admits it. Like, the number one rule of making a mistake in this world, anyone who's ever had to hire a lawyer or anything, you don't admit to anything. You do not admit. You keep your mouth shut. But I guess when you're a troll, it's kind of a hard thing to do. And this guy admits to me and the shopkeeper that he physically came at me. So not only does the physical universe not lie, but now we have backup of his own words. And anyway, so I left the shop. And I went talked to my brother-in-law. I actually went to the barangay captain, my local barangay captain. I'm like, hey man, this is what happened to me. Just so you know, if some drama gets stirred up, because this guy's stirred up drama before with the captain. I've had to go see the captain and got the stuff this guy said. Just a toxic dude. And I'm not going to say his name. Because I don't want his YouTube channel to grow. He's not monetized. He can't get enough people because he's not interesting. And so I think it's kind of over. I'm like, okay, whatever. The shopkeeper at the time, actually, before I left, had been freaking out. And I'm like, dude, it was like a Filipino, he's not used to conflict and this thing. He didn't know the history of me, how this guy has gone on live streams before, just totally trashed me all over the internet. He's a moderator for other gossip channels. You don't want to deal with these moderators for gossip channels, people that are on the forums, just spewing. Stay away from these people. Stay away from them. And so I think it's over. I'm just having like a freaking great time because I'm like, man, this is like finally some dude that has been talking trash to me for years made accusations that like people make about like Epstein. Like, that's the level of accusations this guy made about me. And and I finally got to protect myself physically and assert dominance. So anyway, the story gets better, guys. It gets even better. So so I go to bed, I wake up the next morning, and I'm just like hanging around the house, right? I get a knock on the door, and Tucker's going nuts. My dog is going crazy. It's a freaking police officer. It is a PNP officer. And he's like, he comes out, and he's not mad. He's really calm. And he's like, he wants to talk to me about what happened. And so, just like I told you guys, in a little bit more detail, what allegedly happened, right? Allegedly. And so he's fine, man. He just listened to my story, and and I had actually, some of you guys that watch my community page will see my, will have seen my, I kind of had a weird community post. I had a little bit strange, strange community post where I had talked about a bumper sticker, right? A freaking bumper sticker. Well, that was this guy's bumper sticker, and it's a bumper sticker that is it's kind of like in your face type of thing. You know, it's like a grandma wouldn't put it on there. You know, a nice lady, Chrissy, wouldn't put it on their car. I wouldn't put it on my car. It's kind of like, hey, I'm a tough guy bumper sticker. So I was making fun of this bumper sticker. I never said the guy's name. Nobody's gonna know like who it is. I never talked about the guy. And the police are like, hey, can you take this down? He's complaining that you put up this picture of his bumper sticker. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? The guy that's made Epstein level like comments about me, the guy who trashes me on freaking all over the internet, the guy who physically comes at me in a shop. This is the guy you want me to take down the police are coming to me to take down a freaking bumper sticker, a joke about his bumper sticker on his car that doesn't show his license plate, has no identifying features other than it's a black Ford. And so anyway, guys, I'm just like, fine, man, I'll take it down. So maybe this video, I'm sure this guy is gonna, and I haven't said his name, I haven't said who he is. And I'm not going to, because he's gonna watch this. These guys, they watch. See, I don't watch what these people do. I've never seen one of his videos. These people that do hater stuff, back in the day, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, I used to watch this stuff. I don't watch it anymore. I'm never gonna see it. But this unhealthy obsession with some people is freaking the weirdest thing you'll ever have to deal with in life, or one of the weirdest. There's a lot of weird things in life, but you know what I mean? Like, dude comes at me, basically, allegedly assaults me. Then he complains about a freaking bumper sticker, making fun of his bumper sticker. I don't even say his name. That's how sensitive this dude is. Bro, you need to get a grip, dude. Get a grip, my friend. And I feel bad for you. You don't want to live your life this way, man. You really don't want to live. You want to have some confidence, guys. We want to have confidence in life. It's good to have confidence. It's good. I've talked about it before. You want to elevate the people around you. You know, I try and elevate the people around me. Chrissy, you know, I like to think that she's better off because she's with me. You know, she's the one that's obviously the closest to me. Dale, Chrissy's parents. I've got a great relationship with my parents now.
Where are you living here in?
I live here, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
But you watch me. But
I just watched your last video. Somebody was giving you shit or something. Gotta go to court or something.
I had to flee the country, guys. I'm on the run, and
Here, why'd you leave the Philippines? Yeah, man, you're gonna have to go back and start at the beginning. Unfortunately, we don't have time. I just did a 28-minute. I just did a 28-minute rant on leaving the Philippines and all that's going on. So I'm good, guys. It's all good. You know, weak people fold when adversity happens. I try not to be weak. At times in my life, I have been weak. And it sucks. It sucks when you're weak and you don't feel like I've recovered from so many things in my life, guys. I've gotten knocked down so many different times, lost jobs, made stupid mistakes. I've been in trouble before where I've had to get legal help on stuff that was really like I had to sweat pretty good. So I'm not getting the feeling that this is one of those times. And I've ruined relationships. I've been in trouble before. I've always gotten back up eventually. And by the time you're 42, I'm almost 43 years old. Some of you guys are much older. I know not many of you are much younger, but your 40s, I think, is kind of a time where you really start beginning to, well, it kind of starts in your 30s, I think, but your 40s, you really start to like, okay, I know who I am. and I'm more confident now, and I don't really care so much about what people think about me. So interesting question, Tim, from Jesse. Did you finish Brothers Karamazov? Sadly, no. I only finished the first book. So to any local law enforcement individuals, you'll be asked to pressure me and to take down this video by the people that I name. This video is my attempt to combine evidence to form a criminal complaint and seek damages from Oliver Desquitado, also known as Andy Omar, from San Fernando, Pampanga, previously of Seattle, Washington, and Nathan Mogmer, also known as Mogman, from Padre Burgos, Southern Leyte, previously from Illinois. These two are good friends, and Mr. Mogmer has often claimed that what Mr. Desquitado says about me are true, co-signing to all the slander also on the Andy Omar channel. The two work in combination to spread inflammatory claims about me and my family. For years, these two individuals have harassed my family online and caused mental and economic harm to us by slandering us repeatedly. I'm asking for those in the local community, the YouTube community, and those who know about this ongoing abuse to comment down below about the nature of their harassment and email me screenshots and video clips of any previous and future harassment to timkyoutube@icloud.com. My wife, a Philippine citizen, will take this evidence of which she has been compiling and turn it over to the police. For context, the harassment began as a result of my wife and sister-in-law not approving of Mr. Mogmar's relationship to his girlfriend in 2020, who he later married. Mogman, as he calls himself online on YouTube and Instagram, has launched a multi-year destruction campaign of our family's reputation that has followed him here from the United States to Southern Leyte. My family never slandered Mr. Mogmar or his wife online, but brought our concerns about their relationship to his girlfriend and wife privately at the beginning of their relationship. Ever since the concern about him as a spouse took place from my family, a deep-seated hatred of me took the root of him. Mr. Desquitado, or Andy Omar, on the other hand, hates me for an unknown reason, and the two found a common friendship based around their joint hatred of me. A simple review of the YouTube channel of both of them will find many twisted and mentally deranged posts. These are two despicable people who should be approached with caution here in the Philippines. They are a detriment to the community and have also acted not only to destroy our loving family, but other local Philippine businesses. These two have continually stated that I was with my wife while she was underage and groomed her as a child, as well as many other terrible claims, such as paying their parents to marry an underage girl. Mr. Mogmar has also solicited others to make claims against me, likely paying these people or coercing them to make false statements. He brags online about the amount of people in his circle who have made claims against me. I have ample evidence of each of these men spreading these rumors, which are despicable. I met my wife as an adult, and any simple review of my passport stamps will prove this. Furthermore, the local police were all present at my wedding, and the secretary of the local department here is a godmother to our son as listed on his birth certificate. For years, my family and I have done our best to support the community and have provided tens of thousands of dollars in free advertising to hotels, tourist spots, small businesses, and restaurants here in the Philippines. I've never charged a Philippine business for any time on the channel, and my family has organized our subscribers to help local people in good times and times of tragedy. Trolls like Mr. Desquitado and Mr. Mogmeyer, who have also made baseless claims about how my family misdirected or stole funds that were directed from our subscribers to the Philippine people. This harm to my reputation by lies also harms our ability to help the community. Their defamation of the channel has turned good people unknowingly away from us and significantly lowers our advertisement revenue from both YouTube ads and sponsorships. They're responsible for financial impacts to our business, and I plan to litigate damages. Based on the number of views of their videos and posts, I estimate the damage to be in the tens of thousands of dollars. It is likely that the anonymous death threats, unhinged emails, and specific assaults under anonymous screen names received over the years originate from these two. Mogman himself has bragged about being able to create multiple accounts, which he did to intimidate a business here in Southern Leyte. I've decided to finally speak out on this matter after years of abuse
because these online threats have now boiled over into a physical altercation regarding Mr. Mogmar, who lunged at me physically after I insulted him in person. I recently received a summary resolution from the Philippine Prosecution Office regarding Mr. Mogmire's criminal complaint that I kicked him, told him to go to the gym, and called him a bitch. Nathan also told the police that he is sick of my drama and that I struck him unprovoked, causing him to fall to the ground. The only drama he is speaking of is the complete obsession he has with me and my family. The criminal complaint against me that originated from Mr. Mogmire states that he sustained physical injuries due to my provocation. These claims were not corroborated with the deputy provincial prosecutor, who found glaring inconsistencies between Mogman's statement and the other witness statements. I can tell you why the prosecutor recommended the dismissal of the complaint against me for physical harm against Mr. Mogmire. Simply, Mogman lied to the police and they find him untrustworthy. No claims were made by the police that my statements were inconsistent with the facts of the case, only his. However, Mogman, or Mr. Mogmire, was telling the truth that I was in fact making fun of him when I encountered him on September 11, 2023. In my statement to the police after the event, I acknowledged this. I did call him weak and told him to go to the gym. I do believe Mogman is a weak and insecure individual who will now become even more unstable as a result of this video. I asked that the police monitor his social media accounts, as he is known to lash out and delete posts frequently. The truth is that I was making fun of Mr. Mogmire in person, and he couldn't take it. In today's society, it's a lost art to confront someone in person. Call me old school, but I prefer this method as I'm not afraid. I was mistaken that day that a man of his large physical stature and penchant for slandering me and destroying my reputation would be able to take some criticism. Apparently he couldn't, and called the police on me. I can also tell you that Mr. Mogmire lunged at me after making fun of him, and I knocked him straight on his back with a violent football press to the chest. I've never kicked anyone ever in a fight, as he claimed, nor am I trained to do so, and that's clearly a lie. My training is in jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and I could have finished the fight, but I showed restraint and only did what was necessary to defend myself after his attempted assault. I share this story with you that the local police likely believe that Mr. Mogmire is a liar. Mogman and Andy Omar, as they are known on YouTube, are consumed with an immense selfishness and evil spirit that lives inside of them. It is clearly obvious from the physical condition of both men that they are extremely unhealthy and sadly worsening at a rapid rate. The evil that lies inside their hearts is a cancer to the community of the Philippines. Men like this, who are rapidly deteriorating in self-destruction, addicted to the lives of others, and wrapped in hatred, have a tendency to become great dangers to society. I would ask that the local police keep an eye on these men, as they are likely suffering from mental illness and pose a likely threat to their communities. Unlike these men, my wife Chrissy and I have a light inside of us that can never be put out. I often hear amazing stories shared with me from others about how my family inspired them to change their lives, or amazing experiences they had traveling here in the Philippines as a result of watching our family's videos. I would hope that the viewer would see the change for the positive in my wife's extended family since the channel began. I hope you can see the positive fruit of my time here. Although we've made many mistakes, we walk as confident individuals united as one, able to withstand any accusations. After 40 million views and tens of thousands of critiques of our life, we remain stronger than we've ever been. Social media is a dangerous place when combined with large numbers, and we hope that the good will outshine the darkness that lies in the hearts of Andy Omar and Mogman. If you have seen slander of me and my family, please detail it in the comments below what exactly you have seen. Even if it's been mentioned previously, send screenshots to timkyoutube@icloud.com. This will help us build Chrissy's case of harassment of the family to the police. We ask that our supporters defend our family on their posts and their hatred, and report any new posts. Thank you all for your support. By and large, everyone who subscribes to this channel has been absolutely wonderful, and I don't want to let the positive things that we've had during the last 4 years outweigh the evil deeds of these men. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to a special edition of the Tim K channel. Today we're going to talk about something that
isn't normally discussed on this channel, some issues that I'm dealing with, and some unfortunate circumstances that I've been involved in. And I want to let you know that I'm not here to identify the person that is coming after me. That's not my intent. I have never discussed the identity of this person with anyone outside of my immediate family. So anyone that knows about the situation already knows about it through the community. And my audience as a whole will have no idea who I'm talking about. And my intent is not to shame anyone, but my intent is to tell my story. A lot of times I get criticized that I don't talk about the bad things that go on in the Philippines, the challenging aspects of being here. And so I am a semi-public figure, if you will, and I want to be able to tell an honest, just truthful story and let you know kind of some of the things that I'm up against here in the Philippines and some challenges that I have. So with that, we'll get into it. So last month I went into a local shop to do business the same way that I've done business in this local shop for over 2 years, and we got into a disagreement and it escalated. I had some built up frustrations with this person. They recently treated members of my family, I think, poorly, in my opinion. And the argument inside the shop began to escalate, and it was taken to outside the shop when I was leaving. I picked up my things that I was going to have taken care of, and our argument continued into the public street, where I stopped and yelled at this person to tell the truth, because I felt they were not telling the truth. And because I did it in a public place, this has come back later to come back to me. So I should have reacted differently. I should not have yelled in a public place, tell the truth. That was the wrong thing to do. I should have kept the decorum, and I am not disputing that at all. This case is ongoing, but I'm not afraid to admit where I was wrong. I'm a truthful person, and I'm not out here to harm anybody. I'm just here to live a life, and sometimes having a big YouTube channel within the community can create some interesting dynamics. So there is a level of frustration that I have being such a out there figure that compounds my ability at times to interact with people. And it's really easy to look at things I've done on the internet, hear rumors about me, that kind of stuff, and some of that does filter into my normal life, and it's unfortunate and something I have to deal with. So one frustrating thing for me is there are people in the Philippines, even in this community, who've made Epstein level accusations about me, like really bad stuff, and I have not bothered to go and make cases against these people. I feel that this is just part of what I've had to deal with, and so I've taken the stance that I don't go after other people. And Chrissy at times has told me that I really should make police complaints and all this kind of stuff, and I've really just tried to stay out of it and not involve myself in the frustration of those matters. So when someone goes after me, it's a little disheartening because of all the stuff that's happened to me in the past, and it's really upsetting. So about 10 days after this happened, as you guys know, I was recently in Cebu with Chrissy. We were there taking care of her CFO commission on Filipinos overseas ability to leave the country, because she now has a permanent residency visa. So we're up there. We get a message from our yaya saying that we have a summons from the barangay and that there's a hearing for me to attend. So a little bit of time went by since the incident. I kind of thought that this would blow over. I didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently to this person it was. And this person is now charging me with what I understand to be Republic Act 3815, Section 930, Article 155, which is called alarms and scandals. So we'll take a look at the act now. So I'll put the act up on the screen here, and we'll just read through it real quickly. It's a little bit confusing to me exactly what I have violated in this act, but this is the act that I'm being charged with. So Article 155, alarms and scandals. The penalty of arresto minor, or a fine not exceeding 200 pesos, shall be imposed upon
I did a little research on arresto minor, and it's my understanding is 1 to 30 days of jail time. So number one, any person who within any town or public place shall discharge any firearm, rocket, firecracker, or other explosives. I think we don't need to read the rest of that. That is not what they're looking at. The second one is any person who shall instigate or take part in an active part of any charivari. I had to look up that word. It's like a group of people that descend on a certain place. So I was not part of a group of people. I was alone. So I don't think that applies to me. Number three, any person while wandering about at night. Okay, we can skip that one. This is not a nighttime event. So what I think is best in question, as far as I can understand, is number four. It says any person who while intoxicated or otherwise shall cause a disturbance. So I think this bullet point 4 is what this person is trying to apply to me, which doesn't really make sense because I haven't been intoxicated in nearly 2 years. So you can just take that out of an equation on this one. I've talked about that quite a bit, so that one doesn't apply to me. All of these basically have some sort of wrongdoing with an additional factor to them. An additional factor being a firearm with a group, late at night, or intoxicated. So I was none of these 4 things, and no one could seem to tell me exactly which part of this Republic Act Article 155, alarms and scandals, was applicable to my situation. They just went on with the fact that I was, and that I needed to explain myself, at least from the plaintiff's side. So we have to look in section 4, it talks about a scandal. So real briefly, we'll read the definition of what a scandal is. So a scandal is an action or event that is morally or legally wrong, causing general public outrage. So whatever I did should have caused general public outrage. And we'll get to that as we move on to the barangay. So I showed up to my hearing at the barangay. The captain let me in. The person that is accusing me of the violation of the section, they also sat down, and we'll get into that right now. So I sat down with the accusing party, and I sat down with the barangay captain, who was great through this whole process. He was very unbiased, and he was very helpful in just trying to move this along. So my thanks go to the captain for a very orderly meeting, and for not being biased in any way. I appreciate that. So the first thing I wanted to know is what part of this I violated. And the only thing that could be explained to me was that I caused a scandal. So I didn't agree with this. Nothing was really explained to me as far as the specific part of the code that I violated. But unfortunately, that really wasn't a point of discussion. That's one downside to this hearing, was that this is held at the local, most low-level part of the government before this goes to the courts. So I also asked if any other people had complained about my actions, if there were complaints about me. Keep in mind that a scandal, we just went over the definition. Definition of a scandal is an action or event that is morally or legally wrong and causing public outrage. So there should be public outrage for my actions. I would expect many people to be appalled at what I did, and to have a bunch of people waiting to line up at the door and make their complaints about this general public outrage. So no one could quite explain to me what I violated in the criminal code. And so I made it known to the person that was telling me that I was wrong and violated this, that if I have to incur legal costs to defend myself, that I would pass that along to him once this was thrown out. So that was taken on their behalf very negatively, because I talked about getting, a decent lawyer from a well-known place to defend me. And the person who was bringing the complaint said something very interesting. He said, "Don't you know who I am?" Now, I don't know if you guys are as well have the alarm bells in your head go off when someone says that to you. But when you are you're American or a foreigner overseas, and a Filipino tells you, "Don't you know who I am?" You really don't know what this person's connections are. You don't know who their grandmother is, who their uncle is, who they're involved with. You know, things could go very south because in their mind they have the connections to really put the screws on you, and you do not. And so it's also there's actually a well-known I think psychologist called Dr. Ramani who wrote a book on this phrase, "Don't you know who I am?" It's a narcissistic statement. It's a commonly used term by narcissists, so it's something you have to be really careful of when you're dealing with this type of person. So I'm trying to be very careful with what I'm doing. I'm going public with what has happened to me because I think it's very unfortunate. And here's the other very unfortunate part of this is that you know, even though I couldn't figure out what I was being charged for, the fact that I was told I don't know who this person is, I went ahead and apologized anyway. I said that I was sorry for yelling. I said I shouldn't have done that, and my apology was not enough. This person did not take my apology. He actually threatened me with more cases. He said that more cases would come, and I said, well, why didn't you bring them already? You know, how do I know what I'm dealing with unless you bring it all out on the table? So this person is telling me I don't know who they are, and that they're bringing more cases against me. And so I'm just going public that this is a really unfortunate circumstance with something that I have not tried to lie about, that I have been forthcoming, and that I've tried to apologize for. So this is especially unfortunate because actually with the issue that I had referenced earlier about this person having conflict with members of my family, I actually went directly to my members of my own family and I said, hey, this is not worth it. You know, just go and apologize for what happened. Don't worry about what he did. Just let's get this thing to simmer down a little bit because I don't want this getting out of control for you. And the reason is this person was telling me that they were going to threaten cases to be put on my family, and they were talking about legal action, all of coming from something that I viewed at the time as relatively minor. So I actually brought this up to the captain during the hearing, that before I had experience with this person telling me that they were going to file cases on other members of my family. And I felt that that was a warning sign of what we're dealing with here. And the person, I asked them very directly if they had ever talked to me about filing cases with anyone, and this person would not answer. They would not answer, and so it was very clear that a simple no, and being adamant about that, you know, it was an option for them, but they didn't take that option. So guys, that kind of wraps up my experience at the barangay hall with the captain. I profusely tried to apologize. The captain tried to make that apology happen, and he refused. So I am expecting more cases to be filed. I'm not quite sure what they are. So I'm a little bit in limbo here, and I'll let you guys know what happens. It's very unfortunate that someone that I had a very good relationship with went south very quickly. And you know, one thing that I will say is, you know, you have to be very careful with people that talk about getting others into trouble. If you hear one of your friends or someone that may be an acquaintance discussing how they're going to get back at someone, or how they treat other people when they feel like they're wronged, you know, just know that that could be you very, very soon. And that's a big lesson, not only for us in the Philippines as foreigners, but also just general life experiences could happen anywhere. Remember, guys, when you first get to a town, you come to the Philippines, you know, everything is going to be wonderful. You might have some this or that that kind of frustrates you, but over time there is a chance that resentment against you will build. You know, there is the crab mentality thing is very real, and there is jealousy, you know, just like there is anywhere in the world, but it it will start to show itself here to you in the Philippines after some time. Once the lure and beauty and luster of the Philippines wears off after the first couple years, these issues will start to realize themselves, unfortunately. So the good news is I have a lot of great friends. I feel like I'm well liked. I think you've seen that on many of the videos where I go around and people come up and they say hello everywhere I go. So I'm very thankful for my friends, and this experience doesn't taint the way that I feel about the Philippines. Although I do think I will be looking forward to a breather from the country. But remember, guys, pride and honor is big in Asian culture and a big deal in the Philippines. And I want to say thank you to the barangay for being helpful and helping me trying to resolve this. Unfortunately, we haven't so yet. So we'll see if my apology is accepted. And what do you guys think I should do now? I mean, the law is the law, and the way that I read the law, I could be looking at a 200 peso fine and 1 to 30 days in jail. So you guys let me know what should happen and what you think about this. Thanks for letting me share a little bit from my life, honestly and candidly, and hopefully this puts in perspective maybe something that's happened to you as well. All right, guys, take care.
Yeah, guys, all these threats about me not being able to do this or that, no, I'm not worried about that. See, I in a very nondescript way talked about my situation. No one can identify this guy based on what I talked about. You can't identify him, so there's no libel, because you have to call out someone, and if you're so anonymous that no one can figure out who you're talking about, there's no libel. It's like, because that person has to be able to be identified. So when you don't identify someone, and nothing of the circumstances that you talk about will be able to lead to anyone knowing who you're talking about, other than the people that already know, so I'm fine on that end. That's going to be a very hard road to hoe if say, oh, well, you made this video. I made the video about what? About my experience in the Philippines. You don't even know who I'm talking about. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, that's kind of the whole point. So anyway, a little sidebar on that one. Rule 3, drink. Yeah, all the drama that I have going on right now in the Philippines, there's no update. There's no update. I'm hoping it all goes away. It seems like there are forces at work, evil forces at work that do not want it to go away. There are live active trolls working in my community and other places that really have sad and despicable lives that try and do everything possible to take me down. And here's the funny thing, like, trolls, people saying stuff about me, guys, this has been going on for since I started the channel. Like, I've been getting threats, all kinds of stuff for like 4 years. So, and things have been said about me for 4 years, and I'm still here. In the beginning, I was afraid that somehow like YouTube was not going to like me and take down the channel. But at this point, it's like, it's been 4 years, man. If you trolls, if you nerds haven't been able to take me down at this point, it's probably not going to happen. You might as well just give up. The only thing that you're doing right now for me is helping me. Like, it really helps the channel when people create rumors and then more people come and it makes my name bigger. I mean, a couple months ago, I was worried because I was like, nobody's saying anything bad about me recently. Like, this is not good. This is not good. Like, people are not not talking trash about me right now. Like, where is the hate? I'm, I have certain filters. You can't say certain words on my channel. It's mostly stuff you can't say to your mother. And so I wasn't getting many comments like held for review, which is usually if someone has especially a long diatribe about what an awful person I am, usually that gets picked up by the YouTube will hold the comment and keep it from the channel. So yeah, I wasn't seeing much of that. I wasn't seeing much hate, and I was kind of worried about the channel because nobody was hating on me for a while. So the hate is back. It's very good. It's very good for the channel. It's good for business. And at this stage, it's like, come on, dude. Like, why are you obsessed with me? Why are you hating on me? Hey, Judas, you just got to let it go, man. You have to let it go. You've been unsuccessful for 4 years. You're not going to be successful. Let it go, Judas. Get behind me. Michael Moses wants to know, will you have a lawyer? I don't think it's going to come to that. I don't think it's going to come to that. I have a lot of support. And this channel is not small. So I do have a voice on what goes on in life. Like last month, I reached 200,000 unique people, 200,000 unique accounts. It used to be higher. It used to be like I used to reach 500,000. These are all the analytics that Google gives me. So trust me, guys, Google knows where you are. They know what you're doing. They know your habits. They know what you're thinking. And they certainly have the ability to provide accurate analytics to people like me about who's watching the channel. I have a lot of support, and I'm not going to talk about all the support that I have specifically, but it's there, and the odds of something really bad happening to me are low. They're low. So will I need a lawyer? Yeah, if I need one, I'll get one. The farther that this thing goes, the more popular I'm going to get, the more money it's going to make me. So it's really counterintuitive. These people that want to hurt me, I mean, just even talking about this situation made me money. And it would make me a lot. If this gets a lot of drama, this will make me a lot more popular on YouTube. It'll make me a lot more money. So if you want to hurt somebody, if you really want to inflict pain on someone like me, you ignore them. Like if a bunch of people just shut you off and ignore you, like that is what really takes you down. Like if you're never talked about, if you're never paid attention to, if people just unsubscribe and they never look at the channel ever again or anything associated with you, that's what really hurts. Everything else is just is in some way beneficial. So yeah, guys, hopefully that answers your question, Michael Moses. Yeah, all press is good press. Yeah, I mean, mostly true. Dude, there are dudes at channel. Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I mean, there. I hate to say it, but this channel and others like it, there's a major contingent of guys looking for girls. A lot of guys watch me because they're like, "Oh, Tim has a cute wife. How do I?"
Early in our marriage, Chrissy prayed for me every night that I would change. Welcome to a brand new morning in the Philippines. I feel this is a very appropriate time of day to share this story about new beginnings and about what I've been going through the past 2 years and how my life has changed. And I can certainly attest to you that anytime you try and make a change in your life with the care of God, Satan will send his enemies to try and discredit you and discourage you and to cause you to stumble and to change your ways back to his evil purposes. And I want to share with you today that after 2 years, I've been drug and alcohol free. And that is a big accomplishment for me and my family. A big testament to God's care and love over my family and our lives. And it's been a very difficult road. And this is not something that I share lightly. I have alluded to it in my life. But I've never taken the time to tell you specifically what I've been going through. And what I've been going through is a radical change from who I was before to who I am now. Alcohol and drugs can be something. Oh yeah. Maybe he wants to tell me about his addictions. Alcohol and drugs have taken the grip of many people, no matter their socioeconomic status, what they do for work, the color of their skin, their ethnicity, how much money they have in the bank. It's not really important. Sure, there might be some genetic indicators. Certainly family history plays into it. But this problem is largely not discriminate on any of those things. And so I'm sure there's many of you that have struggled with this as well. And I want to offer up the following story as an encouragement to you that you can change. And it hasn't really been until the 2-year mark for me that I feel confident enough to share the story. I'd like to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this. There's been many times through the last 2 years where I didn't think I was going to make it, that I was going to give up on this departure from my former life, that I was going to give up on God's care and assistance for me and my family. And that's not the case. It's not the case. You know, this is a one day at a time thing, and things could change tomorrow, and things could go sideways, and all we have is right now in this moment today. But I can tell you that I feel very confident going into the days ahead with God's care and his watchful hand over the life of me and my family. And making the change to become a sober person and turning away from your own selfishness, which is really what it is. It's more than just the substance that you're turning away from, but really the selfishness inside of your heart, and turning around and asking for the care and guidance of God in your life. If you've been struggling with this, you can always email me, timkyoutube@icloud.com. This channel wants to be a place that seeks redemption rather than harm. This channel is a place where hopefully you can share in the comments sections what you've been going through. If you have any victory over this, maybe what you have is an encouragement to me. Maybe you've made it past the 2-year mark. You know, that's a whole nother realm. And one thing that I can tell you is, if you know anything about having success in sobriety, is that you don't do this thing alone. And so at minimum, I offer myself as a way to talk to you privately in more detail about how I did it. And if you're struggling, please share your story. Send it to timkyoutube@icloud.com and we'll talk privately. Or if you have a success story, certainly share it below in the comments section and encourage me and others on how you did it with the care of God, on how it is possible to change. And so you're thinking, Tim, you're saying you don't do it alone. You don't have to go through this alone. And the reality is that even here, in this land of the Philippines, where I'm so remote so far away from normal society, from any hospitals, from any institutions, from the Vietnam Veterans Center, which I've taken lots of support from in the past, many times during the period of the 2010s. I sought counseling and help from the Veterans Hospital, which is always a way to get help if you are a veteran in the United States. But out here, there's nothing. All there is a local Filipino man singing on a bench that I'm trying to get away from his audio. And another, probably his wife, cutting down some firewood or cleaning the area. So Tim, how can you get help all the way out here? And this is something I definitely didn't know about until recently. So there are ways to get help online. Online is a tool, and there are support groups which I can let you know about. I'll give you the website on getting this help. You can seek help no matter where you are in the world. You could be on the smallest island in the middle of nowhere, and as long as you have an internet connection, I can assure you that you can build a support system and get some help. Just like I did, because I'm not telling you about anything that I haven't done. And it's really been quite amazing, because you're talking to a person that could not even do video calls. When your heart is filled with darkness, hatred, self-absorption is the main thing. When the world becomes all about you and you're lost in these substances and you don't know where to go, it's a major struggle. Early in our marriage, Chrissy prayed for me every night that I would change. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until just a couple weeks ago when she spoke about her experience at my celebration of 2 years of sobriety. The pain that she went through watching me suffer. And the disruption that it caused our family. And as I've talked about before, I've had a previous marriage, and now I'm on amicable terms with that person, but it's taken some time, and I don't want to go through the pain that I went through already once in my life a second time. And unfortunately, that is a very difficult reminder for me, and something that evil people will try and bring up as a way to harm me. But I'm confident in who I am now. I'm not perfect, I still make mistakes. But I want to tell you, the subscriber, the viewer of this video, that it's never too late. You can always change, but you can't do it alone. You're going to need the love of a family, and sometimes that's just the other people around you who are struggling. And you're going to need to turn your will and your life over to the care of God. Those are the only two ways that you can truly change your life. And I'm still a work in process. I haven't arrived. I hope to be working on the redemption of my selfishness and my own dark ways, my own faults, places where I missed the mark myself, and I'm working on that. And thanks for making it through this video. I really wasn't sure if this is the right, I still haven't uploaded yet, and I'm still not sure if this is the right thing to do. But it is what it is, and I can confidently tell you that I'm so glad I am where I am today, here at the end of November in 2023. And I know many of you on the channel have prayed for me. You guys say it in the comments section, and I can honestly tell you that I felt the prayers of many people who have prayed for myself and my family over the years. It's much appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Trip. I also saw some family out there who are missionaries out. You know, there are despicable people out there who will do things like make the most insane allegations about me. That I was with my wife underage. That's a big one. Also talking about how they have text messages from children in the family who are saying that I was abusive. So, you know, using minor children to spread disinformation or partial truths. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here. Mogman specifically has made that claim that he has text messages from a child that he's already. Andy Omar's already posted a video with, you know, my actual son in the United States saying things about me. So these people are the type of dirtbags that will use children as weapons, and that is completely uncalled for. And this is the type of people that we're dealing with. So nothing would make these people happier than if they broke up my marriage with my wife, which I think is what they're trying to do. So they're using things from my past to go ahead and try and do that. So that's the kind of dirtbags that we're dealing with. And the community needs to know that these are not people that that build up others. They don't go into the community to do things for other people. They're not outward focused. My family, we try and be builders. We try and be edifiers to those around us. We try and be a positive benefit to the community. Hopefully you've seen how my extended family's life has changed since I came into it, and hopefully for the better. I've always said, you know, several times on this channel that, you know, the best basketball players, the best football players, the best baseball players, they make everyone around them better. Like, because they're on the team, everyone around them is better. And you know, that's really what it means for me to be in this area, to be a part of this the K family, to be a part of my greater extended family, which is here in the Philippines and also in the U.S. You know, I want those around me. I want to elevate those around me. I don't want to drag them down. And you know, men really can lose their way very easily when they don't have something to work for. And here we're dealing with two individuals who have nothing to work for. They have a stream of income, and it doesn't have to do with working. And so rather than go out and be productive, try and build something up. I've tried to build up this YouTube channel. I've tried to do something positive. They're only interested in tearing down. So we have to be very, very worried about the people around us that are only interested in tearing things down. And I couldn't say that nothing is more detrimental to who you are inside as a person, in your soul, in your heart, in your spirituality, if you're focused on tearing other people down. And we won't do that. We're merely trying to protect ourselves and say enough is enough. And as you guys know, this channel has never been built on or really acknowledged these trolls for many, many years. I've dealt with a lot of abuse. And you guys have detailed that in the comments of the last video, all the abuse that I've in my family have had to deal with. You know, these people are sick. They're really sick. And coming to the Philippines, you really have to be, it can be a trap. You know, life can be very, very easy here. And that's the draw, right? You know, that life is easy in the Philippines. And, you know, it's a wonderful place. And I encourage people to come out here and to enjoy it. And, you know, you can have a lot of things that you can't have here in the US, especially not at the price point. And so charged of making sure that the materials were correct, that everything was according to plans and specifications. In the military, I was a part of building a team of a group of guys that were going out to fulfill missions, also do training, that kind of stuff as a leader in the military. So I've always built things. You know, a lot of you expats come out here in their later years, and what do? They want to build a house, right? Because men are builders. We want to build things up. And the most evil people in our society are the people that tear things down. The people that are so insecure in who they are inside, so lost because they have no purpose. They have no family that they're building up. They have no extended group of people that they're trying to edify, and they completely lose their way. And so they turn it around and they want to start tearing down others who are building things up and are active in their communities, active in their lives. And I have pity on these people, specifically Andy Omar, specifically Nathan Mogman, because they will even go to the depths of posting information from minors, you know, texting and having communication with members of my family who don't necessarily get along with me anymore, just to tear me down. This is complete sickness. And you know, I feel bad for these people, because a part of me, because they have to just be sitting there and stewing, and they know the truth. I mean, it's even when you're a liar, even when you're you know, a lowlife, you know you are. Like it's clear to you inside you're a lowlife, and you look at yourself in the mirror and terrible decision. Times wrong decisions. And I can tell you from experience, you look in the mirror at yourself and you're disgusted. I mean, I have come to that point in my life at times where I didn't like who I was. And I can tell you, usually you look at others to blame. And it's only until you fix what's inside your heart and fix yourself that you're free from that. You have to admit your own faults. You have to stop focusing on other people. You have to live for others. You know, you have to, when you start doing things for other people, when you start realizing that the outlet for your selfishness is unselfishness and helping others, man, your life will turn around. I challenge Mogman, Nathan, to let go of this evilness in his heart, turn from it. The same thing, Andy Omar, the sickness that they have, this evil spirit that lives within them, eating themselves alive. Go out, and it doesn't have to be anything to do with me. You don't have to apologize to me. Start helping other people. Make your channel about helping others. Do some good in the community. You know, my family tried to do good in the community, and these guys were instrumental in trying to get us in trouble with the government, because they don't build, they tear down. And you have to be society needs to be let me know if I'm back, guys. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know if I'm back, guys. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so society, you know, it needs to be very concerned with these men like this that are tearing things down. You can't be someone that only tears down. You have to be someone that builds up, because it will completely eat at your heart. It'll eat at who you are. And yeah, this is something that was just kind of, I've been thinking about, especially going back to my grandmother and the advice that she gave me, that men are builders, and the advice that she would tell me, you know, you always have to be something. You always have to be building a family. You need to be building structures. You need to be out there in the world and creating organizations and making things. If you're not making things, if you're not busy, it's not going to be good for you. And I have a lot of respect for my grandmother, who used to tell me that. So here we go, guys. That's my monologue. And I know I was breaking up a little bit there, but it's been a wonderful last month, guys. I've got to travel a bunch. It's great to be back in the Philippines. I gained 10 pounds. You know, they're very happy now. They love Dale. So yeah, I mean, I think you really only know over time, you know, what that person is going to be like. You know, how the relationship is going to work out for anybody. So yeah. But I can tell you that we're going to stay at my parents' house here in another month, and we'll be spending a lot of time together. So it'll be very interesting to see how well they get along. It's like Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, I'm experiencing my own Trump derangement syndrome. Tim, just leave them be. Yeah, I mean, I've let these people be for 3 years. Like, this has been going on for a very long time. So, because it's been going on for a very long time, I'm trying a different strategy now. Especially because the level of obsession with me is just, it's reaching new heights now that Mogman is in the area. It's like, and it's just so strange, man. It's really strange. You know, I never have you guys seen me go on a live stream and just go on a rant on these people. The only thing that I'm doing is reacting to what they say to me. Like, I don't start new. There's no new information that I'm giving to you about these people. Like, I never do that. I have information, but I'm not in the, if you go back and listen to the monologue, and many of you were here for it, I'm not in the business of tearing people down. That's not what I do. I try and build a team. I try and edify people around me. I try and make the people around me better. I'm not in the business of tearing people down. So that's not what this channel's about. And, you know, you just get it when you've had 40 million views, and I would very comfortably say that over 1 million people know who I am. That's very strange. And anything with the law of large numbers, like, I've just been thinking about that. Like, probably 1 million people know who I am, and it's really weird. You know, at some level I've gotten used to it, but anytime you deal with numbers that are this large, you get some really weird people. And so I tell them, when I had my conversation with the police, I tell them this. I'm like, look, man, I've had 40 million views. Like, I have like 1 million people who know who I am. I have 40 million views on the channel. Like, I'm going to get this is just a result. These people acting weird. It's not really like because of me and my living my daily life. They're obsessed with me for like another reason, another weird level. And it's just, a lot of it is just due to the law of large numbers and the mental illness of these people, and the willingness to go as far as to use children to discredit adults. I mean, if you're coming, the second show has its useful life, and there'll be a new guy that comes along. For YouTube right now, it seems like everybody has a YouTube channel. I keep getting like all these new people I see on my feed on YouTube that are like, have like 200 views, 500 views, and they're all doing the same thing, like walking through Angeles City, walking through Makati, talking about Lake John. It's just strange. It's just strange. I wouldn't recommend this line of work for anybody. When people, because I've had some moderate success. I've had friends and family ask me, you know, how do I do this? What should I do? I want to do it. I'm like, man, just stay out of it. Just stay out of it. It's incredible to me. And, you know, don't live inside a vacuum. And I have like you guys as being some of the best people that help me find the information that I'm looking for. So I don't know everything about the Philippines myself, even though I've been here for 5 years. So if I ask you guys a question, a lot of times I'll get an email, someone will explain it to me. Someone in the comments section will we'll be talking about someone will answer my question, you know, and that's wonderful. It's one of the best things about this channel. And when it comes to these things of you know, and then for my own protection, I don't live inside a vacuum. So if someone's going to do something to me, they're not going to do it without me having a voice. So I have a pretty strong voice, and I try and use it responsibly. And trust me, the decision to talk about these people, you know, was a very slow, methodical decision over time. So if you're new to the channel and you think that I'm just reacting to some trolls that all of a sudden appeared yesterday, no, this is not something that just came into my my side view mirror 5 minutes ago. Like, these people have a insane, unhealthy obsession that is becoming dangerous. And so I'm alerting the world to it. And you know, the effect of you know, talking about a channel with 900 subscribers when you have 162,000, and you know, you can really influence the way that people see that person's channel. And you know, I'm not in the business of tearing people down, but that channel was used so repeatedly and so often to tear me down over time that it's invited the bad you know, aspects that come from me mentioning you. I mean, it's not that I want to destroy anybody. It's just, it's unavoidable, you know? So yeah, the reasons of talking about these people, you know, this is a very slow fuse on my end, you know, very, very slow fuse on my end. And it was something that I talked to Chrissy before I did it. And she's really been the one that's been pushing me to start to do something. And, you know, when your wife tells you she's had enough, probably had enough. And so from her end, she's really told me that this is getting to a level where she's getting tired of it. And, you know, before she wouldn't want me to do something like this, to mention these people. But it's come to a point where it's really starting to bother my wife that these unhinged, sick, evil people are not letting things go. So yeah, man, no, I mean, if you're in the channel, you're probably not trolling. This is a members only, not a members only, sorry. This is a subscribers only live stream. Tim, do you not feel safe in the Philippines anymore? You know, I have precautions that I take, and you know, I try and be a net positive to the community, where the community wouldn't want anything to happen to me. So, you know, yeah, these trolls were here from Harold's channel. Yeah, that was the difficult thing at the beginning, is that there was already a ready-made troll farm. So with the positive that came with the Harold Balder channel, when he and I were doing videos, you know, all the positives that came from that also came with negatives, unfortunately. So he had a community, a ready-made community of haters that was already manufacturing the troll farm. So yeah, that was hard at first. It was real hard at first, but I've gotten used to it. Is there any expat that doesn't have a YouTube channel? It seems that way, man. It seems that way. Yeah. So there's a lot of channels that have 100, 200 views, and it seems like the list of these people are endless. So, but hey, you know, new things have to emerge. Otherwise, wow, my wife and son just unsubscribed from Twinkle Toes blank. I won't say his name. I thought they were going too far. Yeah, of course they are. You know, they're definitely going too far, and that's okay. If you think that like something new is going to come out about me, like, everyone is saying the exact same things that have all been said for the last 4 years, and I've survived every bit of it. It was a little scary in the beginning when people start talking negatively about you like 4 years ago, but that was 4 years ago. Like, if they haven't got me now, they're not getting me. Like, it's just not going to happen. All these people do is degrade themselves, which is why the guy that lives in my area, he's just degrading himself, like literally. And it's kind of sad to see, but I hope he keeps doing it, because the more and more that he comes after me, the more that he just degrades himself in his soul. Like the more that evil takes root inside of his soul, and you can just tell it's destroying his innermost person. And that's what happens when you're consumed by evil and by hate and by lies and by gossip and by things that are not good. It rips you apart and it makes you insecure. And when you don't get involved in that stuff, when you're positive with your wife and your family and you feel loved by your parents, and you go to a restaurant and there's people there who are friendly and nice, and you say hello as you're walking down the street to the random guy on the street, and you give 20 pesos to the guy that filled your gas tank, or 100 pesos to that guy, whatever it is. Like, you're generous around people and you have this feeling of like you're a general good to the community and positive, and you have positive thoughts. All that stuff is like great. You're not going to get knocked off by some little thing. Like, but when you're surrounded by the other, I mean, it's so detrimental to who you are. And that's what's happening with these guys. I can tell you that. Chrissy's telling me to wrap it up in perspective on life. I talked to a guy who is a federal agent this week, who is helping me with some of the issues that I'm dealing with. I'll just say that. And he helped kind of bring this fact to me about the nature of people, and caused me to think about what happens as you get older, and how much you see and how much you can kind of put together. And so that was kind of eye-opening. I'm really appreciative of where I am in life. Chrissy's texting me. Chrissy, get on the live stream if you want to ask me questions, please. So I finally feel at 42 years old, I turned 43 in about 10 days, I think. I'm finally getting to the point where I think I'm starting to get some perspective on life. I think every stage of life, we think we know it all. And then we realize as we get older, like, we didn't know anything like the decade before. And then we certainly didn't know anything like the 2 decades before. This retired federal agent that I was talking to about all that I'm going through, who has actually met one of these people. He's in that, I think he's in that age group. And so that's kind of what got me thinking a lot about this stuff. So yeah, guys, ask questions. What do you guys want to talk about? A tedious thing to do. I would hate to get so involved in someone's life that I dislike, like where I would need to watch everything that they say. I mean, I want to watch people that are like actually adding value to my life. But see, that's the problem is with haters is there's like the mental sickness inside of them is so pronounced that any normal person can see it. And because you can't really negotiate with evil. Like, if someone is genuinely like has a good heart, or someone genuinely is trying to do the right thing, like you can when they're doing something wrong, you can talk to them and they can see your perspective. They may not agree, but like when you're dealing with like pure evil people, like the people I had in my last, maybe pure evil is a little too much, but people that are really controlled by like something that's not normal, you can't really negotiate with them. Like the reason doesn't work. Like even facts often don't work. There's something beyond that. So anyway, I haven't looked at the chat in a while. Give me a second. It's hard on all of us to see what's happening. You know, there are despicable people out there who will do things like make the most insane allegations about me. That I was with my wife underage. That's a big one. Also talking about how they have text messages from children in the family who are saying that I was abusive. So, you know, using minor children to spread disinformation or partial truths. That's the type of people that we're dealing with here. Mogman specifically has made that claim that he has text messages from a child that he's already Andy Omar's already posted a video with, you know, my actual son in the United States saying things about me. So these people are the type of dirtbags that will use children as weapons, and that is completely uncalled for. And this is the type of people that we're dealing with. So nothing would make these people happier than if they broke up my marriage with my wife, which I think is what they're trying to do. So they're using things from my past to go ahead and try and do that. So that's the kind of dirtbags that we're dealing with. And the community needs to know that these are not people that that build up others. They don't go into the community to do things for other people. They're not outward focused. My family, we try and be builders. We try and be edifiers to those around us. We try and be a positive benefit to the community. Hopefully you've seen how my extended family's life has changed since I came into it, and hopefully for the better. I've always said, you know, several times on this channel that, you know, the best basketball players, the best football players, the best baseball players, they make everyone around them better. Like, because they're on the team, everyone around them is better. And you know, that's really what it means for me to be in this area, to be a part of this the K family, to be a part of my greater extended family, which is here in the Philippines and also in the U.S. You know, I want those around me. I want to elevate those around me. I don't want to drag them down. And you know, men really can lose their way very easily when they don't have something to work for. And here we're dealing with two individuals who have nothing to work for. They have a stream of income, and it doesn't have to do with working. And so rather than go out and be productive, try and build something up. I've tried to build up this YouTube channel. I've tried to do something positive. They're only interested in tearing down. So we have to be very, very worried about the people around us that are only interested in tearing things down. And I couldn't say that nothing is more detrimental to who you are inside as a person, in your soul, in your heart, in your spirituality, if you're focused on tearing other people down. And we won't do that. We're merely trying to protect ourselves and say enough is enough. And as you guys know, this channel has never been built on or really acknowledged these trolls for many, many years. I've dealt with a lot of abuse. And you guys have detailed that in the comments of the last video, all the abuse that I've in my family have had to deal with. You know, these people are sick. They're really sick. And coming to the Philippines, you really have to be, it can be a trap. You know, life can be very, very easy here. And that's the draw, right? You know, that life is easy in the Philippines. And, you know, it's a wonderful place. And I encourage people to come out here and to enjoy it. And, you know, you can have a lot of things that you can't have here in the U.S., especially not at the price point. And so, so sometimes life as a man here can become really easy, and you get lost inside yourself. You get lost inside your own thoughts. You're not being productive. And if you're not productive, my grandmother always used to tell me a man needs work. He needs something to do. It's very important for a man to have a job, to work, to be building something. Men are builders. We build things. Typically, you don't see women in the trades. You don't see women as engineers, as these. They're all fully capable of doing this, but traditionally and really inside of our innate nature, on the average, more often than not, men are interested in building things. They want to build teams. They want to build structures. They want to create organizations. And if you're not doing these things, and I can tell you for myself, it's a little bit of a struggle. There's parts of corporate America that I absolutely love. I mean, I was in charge of a team of people. We were building things. I was in charge of making sure that the materials were correct, that everything was according to plans and specifications. In the military, I was a part of building a team of a group of guys that were going out to fulfill missions, also do training, that kind of stuff as a leader in the military. So I've always built things. You know, a lot of youth expats come out here in their later years, and what do? They want to build a house, right? Because men are builders. We want to build things up, and the most evil people in our society are the people that tear things down. The people that are so insecure in who they are inside, so lost because they have no purpose. They have no family that they're building up. They have no extended group of people that they're trying to edify, and they completely lose their way. And so they turn it around and they want to start tearing down others who are building things up and are active in their communities, active in their lives. And I have pity on these people, specifically Andy Omar, specifically Nathan Mogman, because they will even go to the depths of posting information from minors, you know, texting and having communication with members of my family who don't necessarily get along with me anymore, just to tear me down. This is complete sickness. And you know, I feel bad for these people, because they have to just be sitting there and stewing, and they know the truth. I mean, it's even when you're a liar, even when you're you know, a lowlife, you know you are. Like it's clear to you inside you're a lowlife, and you look at yourself in the mirror and terrible decisions. There's been times wrong decisions, and I can tell you from experience, you look in the mirror at yourself and you're disgusted. I mean, I have come to that point in my life at times where I didn't like who I was, and I can tell you, usually you look at others to blame, and it's only until you fix what's inside your heart and fix yourself that you're free from that. You have to admit your own faults. You have to stop focusing on other people. You have to live for others. You know, you have to, when you start doing things for other people, when you start realizing that the outlet for your selfishness is unselfishness and helping others, man, your life will turn around. I challenge Mogman, Nathan, to let go of this evilness in his heart, turn from it. The same thing, Andy Omar, the sickness that they have, this evil spirit that lives within them, eating themselves alive. Go out, and it doesn't have to be anything to do with me. You don't have to apologize to me. Start helping other people. Make your channel about helping others. Do some good in the community. You know, my family tried to do good in the community, and these guys were instrumental in trying to get us in trouble with the government, because they don't build, they tear down. And you have to be society needs to be let me know if I'm back, guys. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know when I'm back. Let me know if I'm back, guys. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so society, you know, it needs to be very concerned with these men like this that are tearing things down. You can't be someone that only tears down. You have to be someone that builds up, because it will completely eat at your heart. It'll eat at who you are. And yeah, this is something that was just kind of, I've been thinking about, especially going back to my grandmother and the advice that she gave me, that men are builders, and the advice that she would tell me, you know, you always have to be something. You always have to be building a family. You need to be building structures. You need to be out there in the world and creating organizations and making things. If you're not making things, if you're not busy, it's not going to be good for you. And I have a lot of respect for my grandmother, who used to tell me that. So here we go, guys. That's my monologue. And I know I was breaking up a little bit there, but it's been a wonderful last month, guys. I've got to travel a bunch. It's great. Really appreciate it. And to all of our subscribers, which every single person here is a subscriber. So, you know, I appreciate that. So guys, if you're just coming on now, I did a monologue at the start, kind of talking about everything that's going on, where I am, where I've been. So make sure to watch the replay when is available on the replay if you're just coming in. All right. Yeah. San Antonio is a nice place. Yeah, I've looked a little at San Antonio, but I love Mexican food. I don't think Texas is in the cards for us. I don't know that I'm a Texas guy. Philippines, because of your wonderful channel. Yeah, thank you guys. I mean, you guys. It's like Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, I'm experiencing my own Trump derangement syndrome. Tim, just leave them be. Yeah, I mean, I've let these people be for 3 years. Like, this has been going on for a very long time. So, because it's been going on for a very long time, I'm trying a different strategy now. Especially because the level of obsession with me is just, it's reaching new heights now that Mogman is in the area. It's like, and it's just so strange, man. It's really strange. You know, I never have you guys seen me go on a live stream and just go on a rant on these people. The only thing that I'm doing is reacting to what they say to me. Like, there's no new information that I'm giving to you about these people. Like, I never do that. I have information, but I'm not in the, if you go back and listen to the monologue, and many of you were here for it, I'm not in the business of tearing people down. That's not what I do. I try and build a team. I try and edify people around me. I try and make the people around me better. I'm not in the business of tearing people down. So that's not what this channel's about. And, you know, you just get it when you've had 40 million views, and I would very comfortably say that over 1 million people know who I am. That's very strange. And anything with the law of large numbers, like, I've just been thinking about that. Like, probably 1 million people know who I am, and it's really weird. You know, at some level I've gotten used to it, but anytime you deal with numbers that are this large, you get some really weird people. And so I tell them, when I had my conversation with the police, I tell them this. I'm like, look, man, I've had 40 million views. Like, I have like 1 million people who know who I am. I have 40 million views on the channel. Like, I'm going to get this is just a result. These people acting weird. It's not really like because of me and my living my daily life. They're obsessed with me for like another reason, another weird level. And it's just, a lot of it is just due to the law of large numbers and the mental illness of these people, and the willingness to go as far as to use children to discredit adults. I mean, these guys are just absolute dirtbags. So go back if you haven't and listen to the original monologue. If you're coming in if you're coming in later in the broadcast, and yeah, so, but life is good here, man. This is probably the second to last season of the Tim K channel. It's not, we got a couple more years left of telling the story here. And every sitcom, every show has its useful life, and there'll be a new guy that comes along. For YouTube right now, it seems like everybody has a YouTube channel. I keep getting like all these new people I see on my feed on YouTube that are like, have like 200 views, 500 views, and they're all doing the same thing, like walking through Angeles City. You know, and then for my own protection, I don't live inside a vacuum. So if someone's going to do something to me, they're not going to do it without me having a voice. So I have a pretty strong voice, and I try and use it responsibly. And trust me, the decision to talk about these people, you know, was a very slow, methodical decision over time. So if you're new to the channel and you think that I'm just reacting to some trolls that all of a sudden appeared yesterday, no, this is not something that just came into my my side view mirror 5 minutes ago. Like, these people have a insane, unhealthy obsession that is becoming dangerous, and so I'm alerting the world to it. And you know, the effect of you know, talking about a channel with 900 subscribers when you have 162,000, and you know, you can really influence the way that people see that person's channel. And you know, I'm not in the business of tearing people down, but that channel was used so repeatedly and so often to tear me down over time that it's invited the bad you know, aspects that come from me mentioning you. I mean, it's not that I want to destroy anybody. It's just, it's unavoidable, you know? So yeah, the reasons of talking about these people, you know, this is a very slow fuse on my end, you know, very, very slow fuse on my end. And it was something that I talked to Chrissy before I did it. And she's really been the one that's been pushing me to start to do something. And, you know, when your wife tells you she's had enough, probably had enough. And so from her end, she's really told me that this is getting to a level where she's getting tired of it. And, you know, before she wouldn't want me to do something like this, to mention these people. But it's come to a point where it's really starting to bother my wife that these unhinged, sick, evil people are not letting things go. So yeah, man, no, I mean, if you're in the channel, you're probably not trolling. This is a members only, not a members only, sorry. This is a subscribers only live stream. Tim, do you not feel safe in the Philippines anymore? You know, I have precautions that I take, and you know, I try and be a net positive to the community, where the community wouldn't want anything to happen to me. So, you know, yeah, these trolls were here from Harold's channel. Yeah, that was the difficult thing at the beginning, is that there was already a ready-made troll farm. So with the positive that came with the Harold Balder channel, when he and I were doing videos, you know, all the positives that came from that also came with negatives, unfortunately. So he had a community, a ready-made community of haters that was already manufacturing the troll farm. So yeah, that was hard at first. It was real hard at first, but I've gotten used to it. Is there any expat that doesn't have a YouTube channel? It seems that way, man. It seems that way. Yeah. So there's a lot of channels that have 100, 200 views, and it seems like the list of these people are endless. So, but hey, you know, new things have to emerge. Otherwise, it's just a stale. That a man of his large physical stature and penchant for slandering me, and destroy my reputation would be able to take some criticism. Apparently he couldn't and called the police on me. I can also tell you that Mr. Mogmeyer lunged at me after making fun of him, and I knocked him straight on his back with a violent football press to the chest. I've never kicked anyone ever in a fight. Apparently he couldn't and called the police on me. I can also tell you that Mr. Mogmeyer lunged at me after making fun of him, and I knocked him straight on his back with a violent football press to the chest. I've never kicked anyone ever in a fight. Solid support from the super chats today. That makes my whole day. Tim, did you go through ROTC military to get your commission? So Christopher Hale is asking how I became an officer in the United States military. I went to officer candidate school, so I went to basic training like everyone else. Became an enlisted soldier. I applied for officer candidate school, was accepted, and then I'm an officer candidate. A graduate of the officer candidate school. You know, that was one of the happiest days of my life, was becoming an officer in the United States military. The only happier day that there are three happiest days in the military that I had, and I see some very significant super chats coming in, and I'm just going to finish this story and I'm going to get to you guys. Three of my happiest days in the military. Number one, coming home from Iraq, arriving in California and seeing my now ex-wife and my son for the first time from Iraq. That was my single happiest day in the Army. My second happiest day was actually completing infantry school, which the first one is not an accomplishment. It's just something that happens. So, but finishing infantry school at Fort Benning, Georgia, that was really hard. Going to infantry officer school. It's like 5 months long. My son was born during that time, and it was just, and I knew I was going to Iraq right away after that. It was really challenging, and I knew I was pretty much going to get on a plane, go to a mobilization site, and go to Iraq right after I became an infantry officer. So for me, that was my greatest accomplishment in the military. It wasn't awards, and I have some decent awards. The haters trash. Some decent awards from the military, but you know, that was the biggest thing. They give you a blue cord. It's a cord that goes around your shoulder that George goes back to George Washington, General George Washington, who became President George Washington. He marked his frontline soldiers with this blue cord to let them know that they were the ones that were supposed to go into the very front of the column. So that's where the blue cord of the infantry comes from. And so having that was number two. And then number three is what we just talked about. It was becoming a commissioned officer in the United States military. So, which is a really big deal. And very proud of that. A lot of times, you know, what kind of stuff do I watch on YouTube? I watch YouTube all the time. I watch a lot of military stuff. I watch the Sean Ryan show quite a bit. I'm really interested in that, and my mind is just blown. All the things these guys got to do in the military. I mean, when you watch the Sean Ryan show, those guys are like the elite of the elite. They're not like anywhere near the common person that you would run into in the military. So it gives an outside. It outsizes those people, you know, because there's not very many of them. But you know, there's some regret that I have, that I wish I would have taken my military career farther. So that's something one of the regrets I have in my life. I really did try to get to Afghanistan. I volunteered for Iraq, so I was able to go. I tried to volunteer for Afghanistan, and I could never find a slot. We did a train up And I thought we were going to go with my unit because we went to the National Training Center and we did a rotation. And typically units that do a rotation at the National Training Center, you basically fight a fake war for over a month. Usually units that do that are being funded because they're going to go to overseas. So I thought I was going to go, hopefully be a company commander in Afghanistan, but it never happened. I was on a battalion staff at the time as a staff officer, and then I thought I was going to rotate into being a company commander, but it never happened. So, and then I ended up getting out when, for various reasons, but a big part of it was I was involved in a pay scandal where my bonus was paid to me, and they said it was not valid, and the U.S. government took a lien on me of $15,000. And they said, you didn't do anything wrong, so there's no UCMJ action on you, but we shouldn't have paid you, so we're just going to take the money back. I had to mortgage my house and to pay for it because they were garnishing my wages. And then about 5 years later, they paid me the money back and said, oh, yeah, we shouldn't have taken back the money. Sorry about that, guy. Like, thanks, buddy. That was really hard for me. That's why I left the military, because I felt screwed over. So anyway, there's my long-winded few minutes diatribe into the history of some of my military service. But I don't really talk about the military too much anymore. I don't want it to define who I am. You know, I feel like so many veterans, they make the military into their whole personality, and I don't want to be that guy. So, you know, my service is what it is. It's not really that fantastic. You know, I did a job. I'm not that special. I'm proud of it, but you know, I never understand people that look down on other people's military careers. Like, why would you look down on someone else's military career? Like, so many people didn't do anything, and you're going to look down on some guy. It doesn't matter if he's like, what his job was. Like, he was there, you know. Like, don't look down on other people that go into the military and they give up a portion of their life, and their family gives up a portion of their life for that. Never understand that. Anyway, TLOC eyes, give yourself more credit, Tim. You're a great value in yourself, just being you. Awesome channel, bro. Thanks, man. I mean, hilarious. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Something crazy came up, and I'll probably start another stream in a half hour, but there's someone outside I gotta see. So kind of crazy, but sorry. Tim K, tell us about this fight you had in the middle of Russia with a Russian war vet. How did it start? I was drinking in Novosibirsk in January of 2016. I was at a bar. You know, I flew out there because I was on my way to go see Lake Baikal, which is I think the largest freshwater lake in the world by volume. So there were these two girls that were with me in Moscow. One was from Brazil and one was from Norway, and they say, "Hey Tim, we're going out to that freshwater lake. Why don't you come with us or meet us there?" I said, "Cool, I'll meet you guys out there. I'm gonna go travel on my own. I'm gonna stop in Novosibirsk, which is the capital city basically of Siberia, and I'm gonna go check it out before these girls got to the lake." Because we met up in Irkutsk, which is where you go to visit the lake. You go to Irkutsk, but you need 2 flights from Moscow to get out to the lake, so Lake Baikal. And so I flew in Novosibirsk, and then I was there for like a few nights, and I was trying to find some girls to meet, and I think I was striking out, where I met one girl, and then I wanted to go out again, and so I found this nightclub, and so I took a taxi there, and I started drinking at this nightclub. I think pretty heavily drinking, and so this guy came up to me. You know, it's really hard as an American guy in Russia to like have guy friends. Philippines actually isn't that hard to have guy friends, but I really felt like having guy friends in Russia was kind of hard. It was super easy to meet girlfriends, But meeting guy friends, there was always, I felt like some sort of tension with them. So I had very few guy friends. And so anyway, this guy started talking to me. He was really kind of nice. And at the time, my views were very, very probably like Ukrainian flag in the bio type, even though I lived in Moscow. Like I was still like pretty like Ukrainian, one-sided. A lot of what you see people talking about, like how they talk on Twitter and stuff now, is like kind of how I felt in my mind. Although there was no social media that was talking about this stuff back then, so I never like let my politics like out in the open, or really had defined them that much. But at the time, I started talking to this guy, and he told me that he was in the Donbass, and he was fighting with the rebels. And these guys were not supposed to admit this stuff. The Russian news was not telling the Russian people that they had actual boots on the ground in these places. They just said they were volunteers. But this dude told me he was straight up Russian army, and he was in the Donbass. And so I told him I didn't think he should be there. I thought I was wrong. That's Ukrainian territory. Get out of there. And he got really angry, and he started getting his guys together. And then he told me, well, you need to fucking give back Hawaii. And he started telling me that the United States illegally annexed Hawaii and that we need to give it back. I don't want to get into the whole politics of how I feel about everything, but I'm just trying to answer the question because it's kind of a good story. But anyway, things started to get kind of hot. And, you know, when you're drinking, and then when you're the only dude there, when you're the only American dude, and there's like 4 or 5 of his Russian buddies, and they're starting to get angry, like, pull the ripcord, man. It's time to let the chute release and get the hell out of there. So I don't know if there might have been some like light pushing or shoving, but there came a point where very quickly I had to pay my bill and get out of there and go back to my Airbnb. So yeah, so when people accuse me, because right now I'm very anti-Ukraine war. I feel like I'm much more balanced in my thinking now than I was. Like, tell us about running into mixed Philippine journey in Manila. I have no recollection of ever meeting this guy. I don't think I've really met anybody in Manila. So the story, whatever he said, is probably false. He's a dork anyway. I mean, the guy's a total nerd. He runs some sort of troll, some private troll page or something that he makes everyone else pay for, and then he has moderators work for free, so he's like collecting all the money, I think. And then idiots like Pugman, they do the moderation, probably all the work for free, probably. I don't know. I heard Pugman went to like some party this guy Mick Philippines was supposed to be at, and like the guy didn't show up to his friends, like to his own party, and like his friends went to go see him. And I don't know, man. These guys think they have friends. Like, these people think they have friends. They don't have friends. They're the people to the left and the right of them, the people they talk to each other, they would sell each other out in a heartbeat, man. My friends, we don't sell each other out. And when there's a breakup with one of my friends, it's not like, okay, release the records, everyone into the document chamber. Oh, I don't like this guy anymore, so let's upload everything that he ever said to me. Get out of here. These guys are not friends. If you're a mixed Philippine dork nerd and you think Mogman's your friend, or you're Mogman, you think Andy Omar's your friend? Fuck no. Those guys would sell you out in a heartbeat. None of those guys are friends. Be careful who your friends are, really. You don't need that many friends. You just need a few people you can trust. You don't need that. You don't need to be popular. You don't need to have that many friends. It's actually better if your circle is small. Okay, we got some super chat. That's okay. You know, it's little lies are all right. So topic that's really important as well, which is windmills. Windmills suck. They don't do anything. They're a complete destroyer of the serenity of the environment. And the local government in the Philippines has attempted to take their experiment and make it into some sort of like tourist attraction. I think it's terrible, but then commenting on this also, you know, you're going against big government, and I think the Ayala family that secured the government funding for all that. So anyway, I'm probably toast. My channel will probably disappear tomorrow. It probably won't be available in the Philippines. Going up against the Ayala family and the Philippine government, telling them their windmills suck. So anyway, that's the hazard of having a YouTube channel where you say what you think is you say what you think, and sometimes what you think gets you in trouble. The government doesn't always like what you think, so there you go.
Good. Come on.
Nanda? Oo, sila tuloy ba yun?